Okay, wonderful. Our next speaker has been here before, is Kyle Roderick. Kyle is the author and photo editor of Bijoux, The World of Ethical Jewelry, published by Rizzoli Books in 2019. She has an Instagram handle called Bijoux Review, and it's a leading source of information on sustainable jewelry design, news, and views. And today, Kyle, you will be speaking to us about Surf the Jewelry Zeitgeist. Sounds very funky. You are from California. Tips for designers, retailers, jewelry lovers, and others. Welcome, Kyle, and the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Is it too loud? Is it okay? Okay, it's okay. So thanks for taking the time to come here at Trend Factory. And thank you to the brains behind Trend Factory, Dr. Cartier and Yves Peitzner, for giving me the opportunity to share some evidence-based resources to help you maximize your performance in whatever realm of the jewelry industry or realms that you work in. I am very convinced that the future lies in the hands of individuals who are paying attention. Oh, I have to get closer? Oh, okay. I should start over. Okay. So I'm very convinced that the future lies in the hands of the individuals who can look with eagle vision, like look across the whole landscape, be very careful about the news sources that you choose, because unfortunately the digital era has ushered in a lot of online publications that are sort of pretending to be news sources, but in reality, there are a lot of links, associate links. So it's just basically these fashion magazines are promoting the people who advertise for them, and then they're picking up money from the people who click through, reading, and buy. So you're not going to learn about trends necessarily from reading fashion magazines. You're going to learn about trends from reading the really good trade magazines. And there's one person in particular who I want to mention at the outset. His name is David Bro. He has Jewelry Outlook. This is an Instagram account and a website that many of you may already know, but the reason why I'm bringing him up is that it's evidence-based news, okay? So you're gonna see the zeitgeist when you read. The Instagram is at Jewelry Outlook with the British spelling of jewelry. David, who puts it together, is a former writer's journalist. It's really breaking news. It's global. It's jewelry, diamond, and gemstone news. He reports on international trade fairs. He's here at Inhorgenta. He reports on international brands, suppliers, auctions, manufacturing, lab-grown materials, jewelry design trends. I'm skipping around a bit from my planned talk because I also need to make you aware of how you can understand and predict material trends that are going to be coming in jewelry. So let me ask you all a question. How many of you check gold prices or sterling silver prices every day? Please show your hands. Okay, so it's around 11 of you, 12 of you, it looks like. So I think it's important to think about how, since gold is now zooming up and the geopolitical situation is seeing, Donald Trump is the president now. He has these tariff threats. They're connected to steel and aluminum imports. His comments are igniting a lot of concerns about the fate of U.S. Treasury securities and consequently investor demand for gold as a safe haven asset. It's rising. It's turning into a big wave. Gold recently hit $2,907 per ounce. So, the economic challenges and fear created by these rising gold prices, it's driving jewelry designers to propel a notable trend one which embodies the redefinition of luxury jewelry materials. So I see from surfing various luxury retail websites and from visiting jewelry salons in places like New York's Bergdorf Goodman, luxury department store, the Bon Marché in Paris, and then even Munich's Heritage House of Hemmerle, Maxfield in Los Angeles, jewelry galleries like Fingers in Auckland, New Zealand. They're carrying high luxury jewelry created with very non-traditional, almost bizarre materials, but yet these are extremely luxurious, beautiful designs that cost dramatically less than designs were they to be made in gold. So I'm looking at imaginative designers and artisans and how they can take the most humble materials and finesse them. So I'm seeing more physical and online retailers buying stuff and selling these things. Like you go on Net-a-Porter, for instance, or Neiman Marcus website, Bergdorf Goodman website, My Teresa website, you will see jewels that are made in wood. I was at Pad London in October, which is a really super high haute luxe applied art fair. Fernando Jorge, who is a London-based Brazilian designer, he presented a high jewelry collection that was made out of wood and brown diamonds. And he sold out. So there is obviously an understanding among the higher informed jewelry lovers that wood can indeed be a luxury material and is indeed worth investing in, either as fine jewelry or high jewelry. So the Bergdorf Goodman website carries wooden and gold jewels by the Italian family-owned and operated company Grazia and Marica Vozza. The New York heritage houses Verdura and Seaman Sheps both have been selling wood jewelry for decades. The men's jewelry designer Kinraden creates very sleek wooden jewels, including cufflinks for men, bracelets for men. They're using, and the interesting thing about this is that, again, the materials, these are offcuts. These are industrial offcuts. So people are sourcing things from furniture manufacturers, that are leftovers. The Californian designer Kay Brunini has been using wood with copper that she has salvaged from her backyard, from the side of the road, from wherever. She then rivets the copper, which she has patinaed beautifully, richly, with 18-karat gold rivets. She sets her creations sometimes with very important diamonds and important colored gemstones that are beautifully cut, super high grade. So this is really important to start thinking about how use less gold, but you can still make extremely luxurious jewelry and you can sell it, because if you surf around on the internet and look at the high luxury websites, you will see very beautiful jewelry made out of wood. You will also see very beautiful jewelry in another material trend. You'll see bio-resin. Now, how many people of you know what bio-resin is? What it consists of? All right. Good going. For those of you who don't know, bio-resin, it's polymer or plastic made from carbon resources that are obtained from renewable and sustainable agricultural crops, as well as from leftover timber waste. So corn, sugar, forest resources like discarded bark. These all exemplify agricultural crops, substances like rice straw, grapevine offcuts, corn husks, sugarcane offcuts. Those are the agricultural waste that goes into a bio-resin. One of my favorite bio-resin sources is pine bark that's been stripped from pine trees during the lumber production process. And so all of this bio-resin jewelry, it can be made to look as clear as water, or as clear as vodka, or it can be colored in any number of rich hues. So, jewelers from Ukraine to Uruguay to Utah, they're using bio-resin and combining it with hard stones such as turquoise or malachite to create extremely colorful, low impact, shall we say, it's, environmentally low impact jewelry. Some designers even use very expensive gems such as, 1 carat and above diamonds or upcycled gemstones that are colored. So that's another trend that you need to be aware of and start thinking about whether you're a designer, whether you're a retailer, whether you're a manufacturer, also whether you're a student. These are all waves that are becoming more and more prominent and powerful as gold prices go up. I also wanted to talk about stainless steel jewels. We're seeing a lot of stainless steel jewelry coming. It's becoming more luxurious. Designers are working with it, even though it's a very difficult, it has a hard language, so to speak. Every metal has a different language. You have to work it a certain way, but it's fascinating to see how much good stainless steel jewelry is coming out. But it hasn't quite reached the same level of, I would say, high luxury as wood has, but it's going towards that. Another metal, of course, aluminum. And again, Munich-based Hemmerle, the Heritage House of Hemmerle, they've been making fantastic museum-quality jewels with steel, with aluminum, with copper even, and setting important gemstones in these sort of non-noble metals. But yet, the way that their artisans work them makes them utterly luxurious, highly collectible, precious, one-of-a-kind pieces. So I think if I were a designer, I would be investigating how I can better have my artisans work with copper, stainless steel, aluminum, etc. And then we can't forget titanium. And speaking of titanium, we have someone here in the audience who works with Giorgio B., who's based in Geneva. Jasmine Vidal over here works with Giorgio, and he has an exhibition now. It's extraordinary titanium jewelry, extremely sculptural, richly colored and set with diamonds. It is incomparably beautiful, lightweight, resilient. I can't say enough about titanium. Of course, it's very difficult to work with, so it's not by any means as affordable as stainless steel jewelry or aluminum, but hey, it is definitely becoming much stronger on the radar in terms of trends. Now, I'm also thinking of, I wanted to say just a few more things about stainless steel and about sustainability. I live in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is famous, as some of you may know, for having some of the most extensive and diverse junkyards, metal yards, scrap metal yards. And it's heaven for jewelry designers who have imagination, and also for stylists who then commission designers to do unusual things out of the scrap that they get, because there's a lot of designers who just create things for runway pieces for fashion clothing designers. So California and the junkyards leads us to one of the heroes of material geniuses and also technical geniuses of jewelry. Back in the 1970s, I'm bringing this up because this designer, Tony Duquette, was at the forefront of new materials, new forms and concepts. He was in the 70s, he was taking disassembled, rubbishy stainless steel vegetable steamers, and plating them with gold and connecting the individual pieces, because they're all the pieces were punched out, had pre-made holes. So he would just stick jump rings into these steamers and create huge bib necklaces and like breastplates and armor and belts and clothing. And it was beautifully plated. It looked like gold. The effect is as if it was made for, an emperor or an empress. It's very artistic. It's strongly majestic. There are ways of working the most humble, basically rubbish materials, and these materials are utterly, in the right hands, luxurious. So the point of all these examples I'm giving you is to help you understand that you can be a material revolutionary. You can also be a technical revolutionary by finding the jewelers or even doing it yourself. You can go and take a metal class. You could go to a trade school and there are trade schools that have classes at night. You can learn how to work materials if you are a designer or a stylist, whatever, and do something that is totally your own and revolutionary. The last presentation, the previous presentation from Platinum Guild, from Maeve and Tay, was so inspiring because what they've done is completely revolutionary, and they put in the time, the labor, the prototypes, the disappointments, the rise, the fall, and they've made something utterly new and revolutionary. And I think that now that we've got the advantage of Instagram, websites, and so forth, we can, if we use our good judgment and do the due diligence to look for evidence-based websites and jewelry sites, you can learn a lot and get a lot of action plans by being judicious in your digital research, let's say. So I want to move from material trends to lifestyle trends that connect to jewelry. Reading jewelry industry reports from international research consultancies such as Bain and Company. How many of you read those annual reports? All right. Oh, hi. There's Raluca from Natural Diamonds. Okay. Yeah, it's really important to read these annual reports because, again, they tell you about tendencies. And tendencies are the data points that will help you understand what trends might be brewing and what you might be able to either design or sell if you are a retailer, or what you may be able to promote if you are a publicist or a marketing communications executive. So if you believe that you don't have the time to read business publications, then you need to make the time. I can't tell you how helpful it's been for me to read the Financial Times and to understand the market, for instance, in recycled metals. There's now a shortage of recycled gold, so et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot to keep track of. But I find it also, just as the people from the Platinum, the previous presentation, they noted how it's important to keep track of design in cars, in furniture, in home decor. And, ironically, the shelter magazines, such as Architectural Digest, it's called AD now, Elle Decor, World of Interiors, Galerie, these are giving you clues about how people live, how they furnish their homes, but also about what kind of jewelry they wear, because jewelry brands advertise in these publications. And also, these publications take you inside the homes of people who are clearly style-driven. They often appear dressed in all their finery. They're often dripping with jewels. It's really interesting to see what kind of jewelry some tech bro and his wife are wearing, in their Sonoma Valley 400-acre ranch house, So you can see and get clues from the interior design world and the architectural design world that will really give you a lot of insight into what kind of jewelry is being bought, worn, and proudly displayed by high net worth individuals and ultra high net worth individuals. And I think that it's really good to keep track of that, because if you don't, you really don't have a context. I'm a journalist. I write for Forbes.com about prestige jewelry, watches, gemstones, style, trend, etc. And you've got to stay on top of what people at all levels, socioeconomic levels, in all parts of the world, whether we're talking about Asia, whether we're talking about Australia and New Zealand, what are people wearing, when, where, and how are they wearing it? Jewelry trends, they exist within a global, local, and digital cultural context. The zeitgeist, the spirit of our age, it's unpredictability, it's precariousness, it's precarity. So we're in this 24/7 mashup of digital and physical, or phygital, life. We're wading into this ocean, swimming around in it every day and night. And style magazines are really not the answer. The answer is, now that you've got Instagram, and TikTok, is trolling around and using your best navigational intuition to see what might work for you, what you learn, what you need to learn about, what experts you might be able to directly contact. I mean, the beautiful thing about TikTok, Instagram, these social media things, no person is out of reach. You can contact people anywhere, anytime. Some people will blow you off, they'll ignore you, but you can make contact with people. And I encourage everybody who is interested, especially if you're a retailer, especially if you're a publicist, and especially if you're a designer looking for manufacturers or jewelers, use that social media, use that direct message function, use that email function, do it. Let's see, what else is the most important thing that I want to impart here? Oh, yeah. The whole concept of trade shows. Like, this place in Horgenta is ideal for you. If you're a shy person, you got to get over that, and you have to pass out your card. You've got to make contact. You've got to use your personal Instagram to promote these people here who you're interested in. Reciprocity, you can cultivate it. I think that I've got 2 minutes left, so I'm going to conclude also with some more websites that I think you should check out, because, again, evidence, facts are really your best friends in whatever realm you work in. So you want to be always looking for precious metal news, jewelry design news, designer profiles, retail developments, and also legal developments such that are shaping what you are allowed to say as a marketer or as a designer. The language, you've got to be careful with. There are EU Trade Commission rules about certain language that you can use. There's the UK has a trade commission. You can't get away with greenwashing anymore in the United States. The FTC is on top of this. So you need to check out things like JCK Online. You need to check out things like, in the UK, retailjeweler.com is a great site. Trading updates, auctions, legal rulings, all of these things, they may not seem relevant to you, but they actually are, because they're the ocean that you're swimming in. I want to thank you for being here. We have a minute. If anybody wants to ask a question, ask away. Nobody has a question. Oh, come on.
There must be a question.
Okay, well.
All right. Well, I mean.
Well, if nobody has any questions, I hope you found the information useful, and I hope that you start looking at things with a sort of eagle vision, multiple optics. It's going to help you. I do it around 3 hours a day is what I do for researching, whether I'm online or reading print, or also just talking to people through direct messaging on social media or emailing them. And it's time well spent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kyle.